So we have Don Lemon on his very own podcast, taking his turn, interviewing Bassem Youssef on the excruciating events taking place in Gaza. Bassem, as usual, gives articulate and thought-provoking answers. However, and very unfortunately, it will also not be lost upon the viewer how horrifically bad Lemon's questioning is. Even Bassem appears perplexed and stunned at the level of sheer stupidity pertaining to some of Lemon's statements, culminating in Lemon defensively accusing Bassem of maybe not being able to communicate well enough in English, as their interview becomes ever so tense.
So can we just like enough of that, because I'm really sick and tired of like this same conversation again.
Let us observe, giving our thoughts along the way.
Okay, Bassem, you said that you don't believe Israel's being held to account.
Yeah.
The Biden administration halted weapons shipments to the Middle East.
Oh my God.
What do you make of that?
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is, whoa, after $26 billion?
Quite a bereft and tepid question, considering you'd have to be on a desert island to not be aware of the humongous military aid packages sanctioned for Israel. Bassem conveys how relatively stupid this question is, and you can see Lemon shirking in discomfort.
After every single weapon in the American arsenal has been sent there. And the thing is, it's just like, it was like, it's a little bit, by the way, how many times have you heard that the Biden administration held or delayed the weapons across the last 6 months? Many times. And then they continue giving it to Jake Tapper on 4th of January. Yeah.
We can in order to go through the entire history, and I appreciate your knowledge of the region and your knowledge of what's going on.
I mean, you asked me a question. You asked me a question if there's an apartheid state, and I just gave you.
I get it. I do, and I want to know. But I in the time that I have with you, I want to find out. I want to ask you about a number of different things. Okay,
go ahead.
And so when you say you believe that the Biden administration is supporting an apartheid regime,
yeah,
then what would the next move be? What would you have Joe Biden and the Biden administration do? What would you have America do at this point?
Well, I have a practical solution and a little bit of an impractical solution. The practical solution is Israel is a client state. Israel is not an ally, it's a client state. It takes money from us. You and me and every other American have their tax dollars being paid, being shipped $26 billion in the last 6 months to buy weapons to kill children and women. That has to stop. And the thing is, it's a phone call. They can just, but here's the thing, that's the right thing to do.
I would wager even kids at a secondary school seminar on geopolitics would not proffer such a banal question. To reiterate the simple answer, terminate supplying the weapons of, now mass destruction, being utilized to dismember and massacre the predominantly civilian population, including children.
All of the candidates, whether Republicans or Democrats, they are telling you in your faces that they support Israel. AIPAC is bragging about spending $100 million and bragging about the success rate of its candidates, whether Republicans or Democrats. And it's not about issues about jobs. It's not issues about healthcare, about justice. It's about the only issue is Israel.
But
so
couldn't the people say the same thing about you and about those who support Palestine?
Where's my funding?
Did Lemon really just compare the average Joe Bloggs in the street and a comedian to the bend-back way, conformity and complicity of powerful institutions, the state apparatus and its incumbent politicians?
Where's my funding? I'm sorry. How can you compare me with an AIPAC, with like a lobby that has pledged to pay $100 million? And in return, they are bringing $26 billion to Israel. This is the best ROI I have ever seen in my life. How can you compare individuals like me who go to do comedy or have an account to social media? How do you compare that by the power of be that braggly openly tells you that we control your politicians and you as an American are okay with this? How can you be okay with this as an American? Because I'm new to this. Are you guys used to that? Are you used to that kind of humiliation?
Listen, what I'm responding to you is you saying when you took your pledge, you said you had to pledge allegiance to America and renounce allegiance to any other country.
Yes.
And so that is where my question lies.
Okay. How is my allegiance? Where is in any of what I just said right now can be considered an allegiance to a foreign country. I am an American citizen, and I don't want my taxpayers' money be sent to a country that has been violating international laws.
Question the man's allegiance. Already? Maybe Bassem is ever so irritatingly cogitating the hint that he is already being questioned less favorably than that of the average American citizen. Maybe even Lemon, purposefully exuding unconscious bias at being vocally manhandled and so easily strategically accosted, apparently at the behest of this second-class American.
I have not mentioned anything. I'm talking about Palestinians. I don't think I have allegiance to Hamas or the West Bank or Gaza, because that would be stupid, right? So basically, where is my allegiance? My allegiance is the United States. On the other side, the American politicians are openly wearing IDF uniforms in Congress, like Brian Mast, and they are bragging about taking money from Israel and sending money back to Israel, while me and you paying the tax dollar money in order to finance that. I mean, again, can you repeat? Can you just like let me know where would whatever I just said right now shows that I have allegiance to any other country? Where?
It's starting to get a little tense.
Bassem, I'm asking you a question because I
no, you just asked me, and
yeah.
I'm just clarifying. Yeah. You said like the same could be said about you. Yeah. Where's my double loyalty?
Well, if folks when sending in aid and giving money to help the people in Gaza, some of that money would possibly go to help Hamas. That's what they believe. Some of those supplies may go to actually help Hamas. I think what the American people believe. Again, this is not my belief, but I think what the
but I'm sorry, you said some of the money, like the flour, the flour massacre that people were killed as they were collecting the flour. That is the kind of money that Hamas was taking.
If you'll let me get in,
okay.
What American people will say is that there's no Hamas on the other side. There's no Hamas comparison in Israel.
Now Don is starting to sound like an actual Lemon. This has got to be one of the most naive statements one has heard in a good while. Has this joker not heard of Ben Gvir, Itamar Smotrich, some of the murderous settlers? Or maybe he is just simply aligned to one side.
Interesting. So let's talk about Hamas. How did Hamas originate? And I'm sorry. And can I just like a pop quiz? 2019. Who said this? In order to prevent the establishment of a Palestinian state, Netanyahu. So Netanyahu, basically, he was caught on tape many times bragging about sending money to Hamas. So every time you tell me Hamas, I will tell you Netanyahu. So can we just like enough of that, because I'm really sick and tired of like the same conversation again. You guys are talking about Hamas, and Hamas has been bolstered and being financed under the eyes and nose of Netanyahu. So I don't even know what kind of conversation we're having.
I don't know if listen, Bassem. I don't know if it's just a language thing where, because you keep asking me, I'm asking questions. I'm not saying that I believe anything, but I have to ask you questions. So
how rude of Lemon, and almost exhibiting a superiority complex, after maybe feeling he was yet again verbally slapped down by Bassem. You'll notice how he appears to utilize the second language trope in a vain attempt to bring Bassem down to size and within touching distance.
I don't represent America in this conversation. I don't represent Israel in this conversation. I don't represent Palestine in this conversation. I represent a journalist who's asking questions. And because there's no one who is an Israeli here or is a Jewish on this side, I'm simply playing devil's advocate to you.
At this point, Bassem appears a little hurt by that statement, of which he will now go on to reference several times throughout the remainder of this interview.
Okay.
To try to get the answers or questions
wait,
on the other
wait,
side.
But isn't that like
so
isn't that the opposite of what what you said a few years ago?
I don't know if you're. I don't know if maybe you.
Maybe it's a second language. Maybe it's my second language.
Okay.
It's my second language. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I don't know if you're being rhetorical by asking.
I'm new to this, but like I remember you, John, said it like a couple of years ago. You said like you're done being a devil's advocate and doing both sides, and you want to be a journalist. So I'm talking to you as a journalist, and as a journalist, I'm not talking to you as on opposite side of the. I'm basically, we are Americans, me and you. We are both American citizens.
Touché. Don Lemon confirms that he is not as maverick as he used to pertain to be, but now just a two-bit worn-out journalist hustling for relevance, is how some may interpret it when someone feels the need to roll back a prior statement, which at the time would have been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, well,
You've
context
been
is
there before
everything.
me.
Context is everything. When I said I'm sick of doing both sides, that was in relation specifically into American politics and Donald Trump and his administration and his lies.
But it goes with everything, by the way.
Exactly.
I think it's okay to present questions, different questions from different sides of an argument.
So let's talk about Hamas. The fact that
if we keep doing this, I don't think there's any substance in the conversation. Again, I would just maybe it's rhetorical that you're asking, but
it is rhetorical. It's not you.
Let me finish, please, Bassem.
Mm-hmm.
You keep asking me my opinion. I don't have an opinion on this. I'm trying to get your opinion. I want to hear what you have to say.
Good, but you understand.
I don't think the people listening care what I think about Israel, or care what I think about Hamas, or care what I think about Palestine. That's not. I'm not a foreign policy expert. I'm simply a journalist.
You are not on CNN now, Don, when conducting your very own podcast, seated in what appears to be your very own home. Then, for the sake of cohesive discussion, I'm pretty certain, like most others, you can express some opinions. Not unless, of course, you are fearful, or maybe he has already inadvertently expressed his opinion.
With someone asking someone who has a vast knowledge of the region.
Not really. I'm a comedian, but like when I say you, sometimes it's the impersonal you. It's the definitive
that's
you.
It. Good. I get it. Okay.
So maybe English is my second language, but I know that much.
Bassem is not letting it go, Don. On the topic of Gaza, Bassem speaks from the heart, backed up with an intimate knowledge of the region. As a trained doctor and comedian, oddly, a near-perfect combination of skill sets, affording him the abilities in abundance to educate others on the Palestinian cause, as well as shedding light on the atrocities in Gaza. Don Lemon, in comparison, appears lost. Himself and Cuomo, once the favored sons of CNN, have fallen from a height, almost as victims of the same doctrines they often peddled. From the comfort and machinery of that picturesque backdrop CNN set, back to reality. If anything, Lemon has learned absolutely nothing from that disastrous interview with Elon Musk, and appears an ill fit for the podcasting format. But there are far more important matters for consideration in the world right now. And we commend the likes of Bassem, amongst many others, for helping to shed that light.